Welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio, and in this video, I'm going to go over a couple of things. Not sure, probably just going to shoot from the hip on a lot of stuff. So basically, still working on trying to get the Windows XP VM, working on this with PCI pass-through. I may even experiment with XCPNG because this is a completely new machine. Well, not new, but it's new enough for me that I could try that and compare, see if the differences between the two, which way I like better. Do I like Proxmox? Do I like XCPNG? So there's that. And I've also been 3D printing, and I've been getting a lot of weird stuff going on, and I don't know if I have the pictures. Yeah, I do. Okay, not that one, not that one. This one will work. All right. So basically, and I'm not like um Uncle Jesse or um the 3D printing nerd or anything like that, or the 3D printing pro, because there's a couple of YouTubers that I followed before I started getting into 3D printing, and even after, and they a lot of their videos helped me out, but the problem I'm having here is, and this was a Kickstarter, and as you can see right here, that there's this weird, like, flat spot there, flat spot on the shoulder, and let's see if I can zoom in. I have to find there it is. And basically what it is, and you can see the little pock marks here, because it's a resin printer, the support is up here at the top above it, and the supports come down, and then these layers start forming because it's opposite the way a extruding printer does, like the ones with the filaments. Because you could see a tag here, you could see tags there. So for some reason, it's like like this did this, and then everything else built the way it should. And what is also happening, and I can show you. Uh, just give me a moment here because I have to pull up the file and everything. But the weird thing is, it's the I want to say it's the file itself, because when I pull it into, and my 3D printer is the Anycubic Photon Mono X, and it works fine with like Photos Mint stuff or anything, but some of the Kickstarters that I've gotten, for some reason, and I'm not sure why, and I'm still trying to find the folder for it, that the file is coming up with an error, and I don't understand why it's doing it, but I'm going to pull it up in the Anycubic's Photon, the Anycubic Photon Workshop. So as soon as it loads up, I'll move it over into that. I don't know if I'd be able to move. Yep, I can move it good. So basically, here is the thing, and this is what happens. It comes up. Audrey Ashburn, it's the 75 millimeter tall, and it's supported STL, and it says that there's a problem with it. Now, the person that I got off, I've messaged back and forth with them, And they said, well, don't repair it because it'll kind of bake the supports into the thing and it'll cause pock marks. And not like that hasn't happened to me before, and I just like kind of sand it if I can or fill it in or something like that. So when I've canceled that, and as you can see, and I'll bring it in closer, as you can see, it's hanging upside down. And as you can see, here's that. And the only thing I'm thinking is it's the way this is supported. It can't be anything else. And it can't. And I don't get it. And I've tried repairing it. It still fails. Because it'll fail here and on this shoulder here. And it also fails here around the gun. It does some weird stuff there too. But it's definitely not my it's definitely not my stuff, because, and I'll show you because I have another picture as soon as I get back to it. Oh, that's Photosmint's actual picture of that. I'm sorry. My fault there. And I don't think I have a picture of it, but I have another one of his. Okay, ignore this one here too, because this is another Kickstarter I've had problems with. So I will come down and zoom it in. There we go. And as you can see, this came out fine. I mean, granted, it's not the whole picture, but this came out fine. I've had no problems with it. And this was relatively recently. So, and not only that, but another one of his that it just came out a couple of days ago. Or yeah, about it was about 2 days ago it was released. It's the Doom guy from the latest iteration of the Doom games. Now, one thing I will say, the STL supported version came up with errors for this. Luckily, with his, you get both STL and Lychee, and I have the basic license for Lychee, which is free, and the Lychee file came up fine, didn't give me any kind of weird error, like holes that it had to fix or whatever. So that was good that way, and I sliced it and it printed. And it's definitely not my computer. It can't be my computer because all of his other files came up in the Photon Workshop slicer, worked fine for the longest time. I've done this one, I've done Ahsoka Tano of his, and it was all done through the Lychee, I mean, not Lychee, the Photon Workshop slicer. Here is another one of his that he did. I mean, sorry for like the blue tint to it. It's the light of my ring light. But this came out fine. There was nothing wrong with it. Here is the Armorer. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. It printed out flawlessly, and I actually have two. The picture that you saw, that's the prime version of this. And then I thought maybe I didn't use the full size, but I actually did. And so this is like 100%. I never scaled it up or anything of the kind. And I can show you another thing. So let's go ahead and switch over to the software demo. Close that out. So if we go back to that. Now, here is that Audrey Ashburn that's not supported at all. There's no supports on it. It's for like if you had a filament printer, it'll just print right off the bat, but I'm going to open it in Photon Workshop so that you can see. And let me move it, and I'm moving it before, and as you can see, there's no message. There's no message whatsoever that there is a problem with this. So, and 2 out of 3 slicers will do this. The Photon Workshop will do it. And then here is the same supported one. I'm going to open it up in Lychee Slicer. There we go. Okay. So let me move this now over here. Okay. Now here's the Lychee Slicer. Now the difference between the Photon Workshop and this one is it's not going to tell you there's an error message until you click on this. See how just resting my mouse over it, it turns blue? And as you can see right here, it says that there's a problem with it. So 2 out of 3 slicers that I have are showing errors. This is the second one. The third one does not, and I'll show you which one that is. Which totally boggles my mind. And you would think, mind you, that, and like I said, it's only the supported versions, not the unsupported versions. So we're going to open this up again. I'm going to select a different slicer. It's also an older one too. I have the newer, I have both installed. I have 1.8 and 1.95 of this particular slicer. And I don't like using this one because of the fact that it does some really weird stuff with that dual speed motor control kind of crap, and it makes no sense to me. Oh, come on. Why can't I move you over? I do not understand that. I can move it here. There we go. About frickin' time. Oh, come on. Seriously? There we go. Ugh. Now, this one here doesn't say that there's a problem with it. Comes up fine. There's no error messages or anything of the kind. And I don't get it. But if I slice it with this particular slicer and go and print it, that's when I get this issue right here. And I'm not understanding it. So, these are the kinds of things that I work on all the time because, like I said, I've got a backlog of stuff that needs 3D printed to no end. And basically, yeah, if anybody knows why, please. I mean, I got a feeling it's a weird support issue because, like I said, none of the other stuff that I've printed has come out bad. And that's the only 3D print. Well, I can't say that. I actually have the Anycubic Photon, the first one out. smaller one. But a lot of this stuff I don't think would fit well, or if it would, because I had quite a few problems with it when I first started 3D printing with that one. When I got this one, it was a little easier, but I still run into some issues. But as long as the files are excellent and they don't give me errors, they print out fine. Like I said, I got to print the base for this one yet. Doom Guy finished yesterday, um, and I printed him out, or I cleaned him up, and I still got to sand down some rough edges here on the bottom, fill in these holes. Same with the stand. Take off any extra little nub pieces from the supports. Kind of be careful with a knife for that. And I tried using the non-supported versions, inverting it 180 degrees, trying to do the same exact support type thing with it, and nothing seems to work. I mean, I try using auto supports, and I've tried the whole I'm going to manually, touch everything and run it down, and as soon as I see an island, and if it's not supported by anything, add a support. And it's just a royal pain because it takes so long to do that. And I just don't know. I really don't. Um, so yeah, still having problems trying to get this installed with it, Windows XP installed on this, so that all I have to do is change a couple of settings for the VM, and then I'm able to uh, remote into it. Because when you change it over for PCI pass through, you don't get the you don't get the tight, or the VNC view that Proxmox has. So, but yeah, that's the stuff I'm still working on, is this, and while I'm 3D printing things like this to paint and everything, I'm trying to get that done because I want to get this in the living room so that if we want to play the older games, we can do it. But yeah, if anybody's got any idea about why those models are doing that, which I got a feeling it's got to be the models because it's the only thing I can think of. But as I always like to say, have a good day, guys. Take care and see you next time.